Hello, all. We're waiting for our speaker to join too, Allan Rocha.
Hello, everyone.
Allan Rocha.
Hi.
The previous two speakers, they have such a challenging names for me, so I'm glad now it's something that I can pronounce. I hope in the right way. Hello, dear colleagues, again. Thank you all for joining us now or for staying with us from the previous talk. I hope you had some time to grab a cup of coffee or tea, and now you are ready to dive into our next presentation. So welcome to the BA Excellence Online Conference, powered by Business Analysis Community and Product Management Community. Just a couple of things to mention before we start with our speaker, both for the benefit of our new joiners and as a reminder for those who attended the previous talk. First, we have separate webinars related to the BA conference. Due to time limit, some will be held in parallel or on separate days, and you can find the links to the conference description. You are welcome to join, but please keep in mind that the spaces are limited, but no need to worry if all spots are filled. Additional webinars are planned. The second thing is that we have a virtual room where you can join after the end of the talk. This will give you the chance to speak directly with the speaker and discuss the topic. You will find the link in the talk description. Last but not least, please post your questions in the QA section, either on the We community platform or in the chat in the YouTube channel. These questions will be addressed to the speaker at the end of the presentation. And that was pretty much all the general information. And now I'm super excited to introduce you to our speaker, Allan Rocha, Director of Fellowmind, an IT service management company and a leading Microsoft partner. The topic he will present to us today is unlocking the potential of product add-ons for scalable platforms in the era of generative AI, and what is hotter subject these days than artificial intelligence right now. Besides his incredibly impressive work experience, as he even started his own company at the age of 21, some interesting facts about Allan are that he's Brazilian, and we love Brazil, has been working with Microsoft for over 24 years, and currently lives in Denmark. So hello, Allan. How are you today?
Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the introduction.
I'm very impressed. I stalked you, of course, in LinkedIn, and I'm very, very impressed with your CV. I was actually wondering, do you even have a life with so many things? Like, do you have time for sports or something else for fun?
But the trick is, as soon as you find something you love to do, you don't feel you're working anymore. So I always have time for having my leisure and also my hobbies. So I love to play tennis, to play chess. So yes, we have time for that. And at the same time, still enjoying doing this type of things and also working on a daily basis.
I thought you will say the key is to find a way to make the 24 hours of the day 27, 28, but okay, you have another way. So make your passion, work for your passion, and make your work your passion. It's a play of mind. Okay. Allan, where exactly you're located in Denmark?
I'm in Copenhagen.
Oh, of course. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's an amazing city.
But how cold is now?
Oh, how cold it is right now. Oh, I think today was not a very good weather. I think it was -2 a little bit in the morning, and then it rained. I don't know how much is it, but it's at least it's not raining right now. But it's winter time is becoming soon.
At least it's not raining. You are actually winning. In Zurich, it's not that cold yet. Hopefully, or never. But no, okay. Okay, Allan Rocha.
I like the cold though. It's really nice coming from a Brazilian actually to have a weather where you can feel the seasons and have this cold weather. I think it's quite romantic. I like it.
I'm from Greece, but I don't have the same. I don't share the same opinion. For me, it's better heat than cold. In heat, I can manage. In cold, I cannot. Thank you so much, Allan, for your time. We're ready to start with your presentation. You can introduce yourself. The floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. thank you everyone for joining this session. Today we are going to be talking about unlocking the potential of product add-ons for scalable platforms in the era of generative AI. So basically, how you can really leverage the product-centric approach for building fast and quick and valuable add-ons for existing platforms that are available out there. So let me share my screen. So as Maria said, my name is Allan Rocha. I'm a father of two boys living in Copenhagen. I'm a tennis and chess aficionado or lover, and I've been 20 years working on this business and on this field. I'm today a director of Fellowmind. I have been actually holding the MVP or Most Valuable Professional title from Microsoft for the last 14 years, and it's a pleasure to be part of that group. I have been also part of the PAC member, which is the Partner Advisory Council for Microsoft. And I actually did 3 books. I published 3 books about the project management capabilities and also how to build hybrid teams. I would say that some keywords that define a little bit of what I do every day is strategy execution, project and portfolio management, work management, artificial intelligence, and optimizing processes. Okay, so let's jump in directly to the session. And the main topics for today are product-centric approach and how you can maximize those capabilities using actually scalable and well-established platforms. And we are going to be digging in a little bit more on the platforms that Microsoft provide to us. You're going to discover how actually solutions can empower your organization in a very, very different way, giving them a much better customer experience, streamlining your processes, and at the same time, leveraging the data security that is already there, including governance, to make IT also very, very happy. Then, topic from the end will be the era of generative AI and how you can actually harness and bring the best capabilities of AI that nowadays is just blowing our minds with best practices, some real world case scenarios, and also how you can even embed with existing solutions some products that can actually fulfill those needs using generative AI. Okay? I hope those topics is interest for you, but before we continue, the target audience for today is actually quite broad. I'm not going on a lot of technical matters, but I would say that if you are on the C-level, if you are an IT professional or maybe a business leader, product owner, system administrator can also take advantage for this session, business apps users, business app builders, AI geeks, I would say that you're going to also like what you're going to see during the session, citizen developers, which is a new term, and also low-code passionates. So if you are part of this audience, welcome, and let's go to this session together. We have very little time. We have around 40 to 45 minutes to talk and few more minutes for questions, but I think we will take it in a good pace. So the agenda for today, it's going to be basically a product-centric mindset. We focus on add-ons and how that mindset has changed and shifted. Transforming your business with scalable platforms. So instead of you building your own platform, how you can really leverage what is out there available for us through the existing platforms. The power of product-centric approach and why it matters. Then we jump into design your add-ons, products for scalable platforms like Dynamics 365 or even for Power Platform. Leveraging existing platforms with generative AI. So it's quite important to understand that not only building an add-on, you can even leverage capabilities with the AI or Gen AI that are already available for us on these platforms. And then we are going to close with some case studies, success stories, and some examples of some few things we have been working on in the past time. Okay. So product-centric approach and mindset, we focus on add-ons. So there was a big shift from traditional software development to a product-centric model. Again, I've been working on this field for over 20 years. And when I started, and I've been working a lot with projects on the oil and gas industry, those projects are still quite heavy and they require a traditional way of building things. And that way came, the software development in the traditional way came from a little bit on this waterfall model. So if we look at the waterfall model, we have very distinct phases. We have well-established requirements, all identified as soon as possible and probably collected for the whole application solution or add-on. You need to design these in a very traditional way. Fixed roles are established. You have analysts, designers, developers, and they only work on those specific lanes. You have heavy documentation. It's really, really necessary for those types of software development in the traditional way. Then you are going to jump into an implementation, a verification, maintenance of the product, and then value creation is actually going to be generated. So it's a little bit, you're going to get a box software, and it did not change much over the time. From the time you have designed and collected the requirements, it will be that it is. So it's quite important for you that this will delay a little bit your value creation and also lock things that might change over time. We are coming from a pace of innovation where in the past it took us 20 years, or maybe I would say quite some decades, to get new technologies in place, to an era where on weekly basis or maybe monthly basis we get news about new technologies being available, and that has to be shifted. We need to adapt to that. If you have watched it yesterday, Microsoft Ignite, you saw that a lot of things have already changed. And this is actually from the time of design to production to distribution to the entire ecosystem of Microsoft, months, only months were needed. So now, if you look at waterfall, when you ask AI what waterfall looks like, you can actually see that it's always going to be making a stage one by one, fully sequential items, one after another. You see, again, he's still trying to place all this in a kind of a waterfall look and feel, but you have people walking those steps together to get and achieve something. And I really like this last one that was also fully generated by AI, but you can see that you go one step after another towards a full goal. Then let's go and take a look at a product-centric approach, where we can actually see a completely different way of working in cycles. So all cycle process have to be established. You don't need all the full requirements initially already being established. You have a lot more user interaction. There are collaborative teams and a must fast and continuous delivery. That model, it's allowing us to get the speed with the demand that comes today. So if you're looking for a traditional product-centric mode, focus on products, you have and you can use this type of approach. But if you're looking into add-ons, you can even go faster within those deliverables, and we are going to be taking a look at that in a second. I really like, and if you can spot at least on these two different approaches, the main difference between them, and I just highlighted one on each, but it's quite interesting that you can see that the traditional software development approach, it's actually solo, long path to value creation. Why? The product-centric approach and the newest, I would say, the shift that we have made, it's a more connected, interactive, and a cyclic with quick value creation. So I really like, and AI is quite spot on building those things for us. Then the shift from the traditional software development to a product-centric approach, it is something I would like to highlight. The strategic importance of add-ons for scalability and customization within your applications and ecosystems, it's something we're going to highlight, and how add-ons actually can be used to meet specific business needs and enhance already well-established platforms. All of that we are going to be taking a look today together. So, how can you transform your business with scalable platforms? So I would like to start with one of the fastest growing platforms for Microsoft, and the name is Microsoft Power Platform. It is a low-code platform that goes across Office 365, Dynamics 365, and the entire Microsoft 365 ecosystem. It does not only hold specific applications that does specific things, but it comes with very, very good mindset of a low code. A lot of things that can be provided and developed using this platform, it's not required for you to actually create real code and compile. Of course, there are specific applications that require that, but you can really get your hands on and get things ready and done with just as a citizen developer, I would say. When we look at the Microsoft Power Platform, which is 100% AI Copilot enabled, also announced by Microsoft yesterday, they are continue to improve and bring AI to all these different applications. And if you're curious about the Microsoft Power Platform, please take a look at the link below, and you're going to be blasted with how this platform is innovative and is bringing fast growth and also value to organizations in the enterprise field, but also on the small business and all industries within the market. So the Power Platform is also bringing how the Power Platform is actually being used by business. It's a quite interesting question, because even before you can build your add-on, you need to understand and select the platform you're going to be using. And today, a platform like Power Platform, it's allowing us, or allowing the business, to really create and define app modernization. They can actually recreate, rebuild, and scale those apps without a lot of the traditional way that goes for a long solo path. Remember the initial talk we had. It brings business agility. It really improves the process and the processes and experiences that we are going to have with maybe core or legacy systems. One of the key factors of these platforms and how you can leverage your add-ons is building interfaces for old systems, and it's really powerful on that. It accelerates your development, how reducing time and effort while you're creating enterprise-grade apps. It brings all the security and data safety that you need, because it's built on a platform that is very stable and quite solid. Enhance employee experience. It allows you to really interact with the business data that goes across the entire Microsoft ecosystem. So when you are designing and building your application or your add-on or your product, you can leverage data that is outside that silo. And this is another key factor that you can really bring value to the users in order to just bring a completely different system. You can enhance existing systems and platforms. It also empowers departments, because it enables departments to solve their own needs without probably a completely enterprise company launch product. So you can build an add-on that is fit for the need of that specific department and really bring value to them immediately. And also optimize hyper automation. So we are not only talking about web applications or maybe just solutions that is running on the web in the modern way or in the cloud, but also bringing legacy systems that probably are on premises and cannot be moved. You are still able to leverage and build add-ons and automations on top of that. So, but why IT actually chooses the Power Platform, and why it's one of the platforms that is fastest growing by Microsoft? What are the patterns of value here? And like I mentioned, agility. You can really create apps. I remember in 2016, if I'm not wrong, I was presenting at Microsoft Ignite in Chicago on stage for 27,000 people was actually signed up on that event. And I built a mobile app on stage in the last 10 minutes of my session. So this is 2016. And imagine now how you can build those applications that are really powerful, connected to your ecosystem and data, and at the same time, now we even have AI Copilot to help us build those apps. So it's mind-blowing, and I really, really recommend you to take a look at this platform. Governance. You cannot bring applications, add-ons, or products within an enterprise without taking care of governance, data security, and privacy. It's really important for you to manage policies in the right way. It must have full application lifecycle management, which we're going to touch base later. But it's quite important that those environments and those add-ons are fully supported for an enterprise-grade application. And that's why I choose most of the time Power Platform, because it brings natively all of that. And I'm going to touch base on why not just build your own platform as well, but it's quite an interesting topic to understand that this is built in on this platform, so you can just leverage and take advantage of it. Security, it has full encryption, all the securities we have, and Microsoft is investing day after day on how to ensure your data is safe. We are just leverage that. So security is a very key point for IT to choose Power Platform. Responsible AI, we are going to discuss the partnership between Microsoft and OpenAI later on this session, but it's quite important to understand that all the data that you're going to be using within the silo of your add-on, and we have an example in the end that shows that that data is safe within your tenant. It does not go outside, it's not going to be fulfilling for training in other models. Really, really important topic, and it brings you the importance of responsible AI. And actually, it's dev friendly. It has full capabilities for extensions. And that's where we can really bring a lot more value if we are building products and add-ons. You get full access on APIs. You can build your connectors. You can actually have controls and components. We are going to touch base on those in a second, but also Azure DevOps, full pipeline of application life cycles. So you can build something, click a button, and that is going to be published on other environments automatically. And of course, really changing the culture of building those apps. So instead of going for, again, the solo long path, we can really build a community and create those apps and add-ons together. When talking about the Microsoft Power Platform, we also need to talk about the Dynamics 365 platform. And basically, Dynamics 365 platform is a set of business applications that goes on top, and it leverages, in most of these apps, the Power Platform. So imagine now, and I have another slide that will show all the layers, but you have a platform that allows you to build your own things. But then there is something that is already pre-created for marketing, for sales, for field service, for finance and project operations, which are my favorite ones. I just mentioned them here. Then you can actually, on top of this layer of business applications, create add-ons for industries, create add-ons that improve and optimize the process for these users. And it's quite important that we are still talking about the Power Platform, but we just have an extra layer here that is the business application that is pre-built. So everything we are doing, we need to take care of both layers. We cannot just think about the Power Platform, but we now also need to understand the customer engagement in the connected operations layer, which brings these business applications apps. So this is a great slide to show how you can really transform your business with scalable platforms. So if you go from the top, we have the Dynamics 365. I have my different business applications. I have the Microsoft 365 ecosystem with my email, my documents. That ecosystem can be expanded by partners, by users, by anyone, which is called an ISV, with custom add-ons or applications. And you need to actually have that mindset that you're not building one specific solution. And I will show how the distribution can be actually leveraged using those platforms. But it's important that the product-centric mindset is built in from day one when we are creating those add-ons. If you go one level below, we actually have the Power Platform providing Power Apps, which enable you to create interfaces and user experiences. Power Automate, which automate your processes, allowing you to create flows and workflows that will create and do actions for you. Power Virtual Agents focus a lot on chatbots and how you can have conversationals, but bringing data into that. And Power BI, a completely data and platform science that allow you to create completely mind-blowing reports on top of that. So now, what is interesting is the user interface, where modern apps, which is called model-driven apps, and Canvas apps, which is an app that is a little bit different in terms of technology, but it allows you to actually build apps also for mobiles and has a little bit more flexibility. It's the user interface coming standard with those platforms. Then we have the logic layer, where business rules, automations, plugins, and functions will be applied. And one level below, we actually have the data model, which most of the time when building for existing products or building add-ons, that data model has to be respected. You need to build things on top of the data model with full compatibility, because we are relying on specific components and capabilities on that data model and relationships that if you create your own, you're just building a completely different product, which is also possible. But as much as you can go along and go together with Microsoft development, you are not going to be reinventing the wheel. You can actually build your own applications, your own add-ons, but also following and filling the gaps that it's existing in the product. If I look here a little bit of how this can be actually, I would say, how can you can take advantage of these platforms and the different layers is building your own visual components, building your industry automations, building your data model extension without and always respecting the existing data model, as I mentioned, and also custom connectors. So if you have a completely different system or a legacy, you can still create a custom connector that will allow you to actually provide value to organizations. Once we go into the broader spectrum of Azure AI, that increases a little bit more. And because I'm showing this slide, we have some examples that we are going to be touching base in the end in regards of the Azure OpenAI service and how you can even bring to the Dynamics 365 platform belonging to the Power Platform, create an add-on all in the top of the layer that actually goes all the way down. Look at your data that is being consumed, your content, and also leverage the Azure OpenAI service, creating and generating content for you in a fast, I would say in a blinking of an eye. It's really, really impressive how you can actually leverage those layers for Microsoft. And if you want to take a screenshot of this slide, please do, because this tells a lot in how you can really leverage the different layers. Then the power of product-centric approach and why it matters. And if we look here, why it matters is basically by not creating this custom one-time solutions, you improve the customer satisfaction because you also get much valuable feedback. It increases operation efficiency. You have a much better way to actually leverage this efficiency. You align with corporate strategy. You have a much better competitive differentiation. It's easy to scale and distribute, so you don't need to create your own ways of pushing and defining your application lifecycle management. Enterprise application lifecycle management, ready to use. It creates and generates the feeling of a community. Instead of an isolated customer or isolated app, you create a community that is taking advantage of the same add-on. And also, if you are commercializing those add-ons, you also have full billing and cost management ready to use. So why it matters, I've highlighted a little bit on in the increased operation efficiency, you have actually more efficient use of resources, so you don't need to actually have and create your own infrastructure behind. And also for quick turnarounds, it allows you for quick change of directions if not strategically aligned within your organization. It really helps companies to innovate and improve, offering unique values and propositions. Why? Because you can create add-ons that is not available in the market and can fulfill a specific need and make your add-on completely unique in the market. Easy and scalable, it helps you to design and distribute this, leveraging the platform that already exists. So there is an easy way to identify publishers, identify versioning controls, all that built in on those platforms. And that's why I really think it's a great way for you to look at product-centric approach on add-ons for scalable platforms. You can actually go on enterprise application lifecycle management by integrating seamlessly with pipelines in Azure DevOps. It allows you to actually have all the stages for product development, maintaining and evolving that product connected to your customers and users of those add-ons and products. And it really creates the community feeling, also bringing value feedback from the community, always helping you to evolve and improve your applications. And one more, in the ready to build, you have ability to either take your own license control management, but you can also use the built-in on these platforms to commercialize, distribute, and also just leverage. So why Azure Marketplace? Azure Marketplace, and as everybody know, Azure is one of the key factors for the huge success of Microsoft. It's responsible for, I believe, half of their revenue, and it's a place where companies can go and they trust whatever is being published there, because Microsoft has some processes to ensure those add-ons are actually validated, pre-checked, and available for customers to use on the enterprise field. Talking about the Microsoft Azure Marketplace, there is also the App Source, which is another type of, I would say, store, but it's an online store, but it also contains thousands of add-ons and apps that can go on a level of those business applications I mentioned before. Instead of going to the infrastructure on Azure, you can actually use them on Microsoft Dynamics 365 or maybe Dynamics 365, Power BI, and other areas. You are able to actually build your own catalog of applications inside App Source. And this is an example of some of the apps and add-ons we have been published. You have the ability directly on a safe place from your organization to try a free trial or maybe take a look at the information about those apps. So feel free to investigate the App Source. It's a really, really nice place to actually learn from what is being requested in the market, but at the same time, you can bring value right on to your applications. But how we actually design those add-ons for those platforms. So it's just have an idea, let's bring it on and make it. I'm gonna go step by step on a few items here. So before you start designing your add-ons, you need to understand that you are not creating a completely new product. You are extending or maybe fulfilling existing gaps on that product. And that's quite important because if you start moving from a compatible add-on and create your own add-on, which is also possible, you lose a little bit of the track and you start becoming a competitor with what Microsoft is providing. And if you believe on the journey of Microsoft, like I do believe, I really would like to hold hands with Microsoft and go together. But at the same time, there are some gaps that needs to be identified. You need to understand the platform. What are the limitations? What are the capabilities? What is my boundaries that I have to respect? Always follow best practices documented by those platforms. And why I'm saying that is, if you today, those platforms have the ability to identify if you are damaging performance in the system. So it is possible to actually run analysis checks and solution checks that can see inside your code and identify that maybe some of those add-ons are not following best practices. And that will help you not only scalable, but also to leverage the knowledge of who is developing for those add-ons and build with well-known frameworks. That will ensure you to actually have a much solid compatibility on devices, on browsers, and few examples are React for JavaScript and also AngularJS for JavaScript. Those are frameworks that are well known and you can create very, very much a lot of things using those frameworks. How we actually design our own apps. So this is a good example. I'm bringing the standard product offer and capabilities from Microsoft Dynamics 365, project for the web, and what is coming on different themes. So from the idea management, they can do a few things like project requests, but you feel and you can see there are a lot of blank spaces. Those blank spaces are the spaces where our customers are requesting things. So what if I would like to have some financial information or better portfolio management or some extra AI capabilities? That is the first step is, do I want to invest on something that is coming or being built by Microsoft, or I know it's in the roadmap? I would say no. The idea is you build those add-ons, they are fast growing, but they also have to evolve within your customers and your partnership with your platform. So if the platform is going one direction and already announced that they are going to build something related to that specific requirement, you should not build that unless you have a completely different approach and a very much higher competitive, I would say, advantage. But other than that, what we usually do is we identify the gaps and then we build other add-ons that will allow you to actually fulfill some items in different themes. For example, now we can do resource management with better interface. We are able to actually generate artificial intelligence with creating project plans, reviewing business case, creating risk suggestions, maybe identifying resource demand. All of that is identifying the gaps on the original product, looking at the roadmap, where is the product from the platform is going, and then making a decision that does our customer needs that specific add-on? Should we invest on it? It's not on the roadmap. Yes, and then you go for it. How you can leverage existing platforms using generative AI. As you know, and I believe everybody has seen on the news, the pace of AI development is massive, is incredible. From the point of that launch and announcement of ChatGPT and OpenAI to the moment we actually have this integrated with Bing, we actually have this already with different capabilities, GPT-4 available for end users, but also for enterprise, all those services being enabled. And as I saw on the Ignite yesterday, presented by Sadia Nadella, they are bringing all different models and capabilities and LLMs into the space, like the Meta inside the security of Azure. So the development and the pace is crazy. It's very difficult to combine. But then you ask, but Allan, I'm a little bit confused and I'm a little bit concerned about using OpenAI in my organization. They might use my data for something else. And that concern is super valid. It's today, the data is gold. Having your data, it's really important that you keep it as safe as possible. So when you are creating your applications or products, you have to take into consideration the level of security that is going to be underneath that. And Microsoft ensure, and that's one of the key points for choosing this platform, is below under your tenant, and they have series of compliance. I'll show in the next slide a lot of different capabilities that can guarantee your data safety, your security, and all that information is not going outside your umbrella of information. So Microsoft comes with completely security and data privacy, compliance, reliability, responsible AI, holistic solution, and different APIs for allowing you building your add-ons. And please, you have to take this into consideration. If you're creating an application, you saw an API for a new AI, I would say, service, before looking into it, please take care of those security and compliance factors. Then, if I look at the entire ecosystem of Azure Cognitive Services and Azure Applied AI Services, it is a vast, I would say, a field. Recently announced and also added, we have OpenAI with GPT, DALL-E, Codex, which can enable, not only Microsoft is bringing those items as a standard product. For example, you can actually use GPT together with your Microsoft 365 Copilot, but you can also create your own version, which will have specific needs and will do specific things, maybe for your industry. DALL-E, we actually going to be able, we use this today on Bing Enterprise, but you can also bring that to another level and create your own application within this specific field. Microsoft has been pushing and infusing AI in the low code for a long time. You can see more and more the interface to build those applications are going to be, I would say, low code and really interactive than just writing code. The solutions, and also using some of the AI capabilities, can build and create those codes for you. I've been part of a personal project, I think 8 years ago, where we created the first project management assistant using AI. At the time, there was no, I would say, ChatGPT or OpenAI, so we actually had to do everything ourselves. We had to create the machine learning, create the specific data sets, train them, clean them, identify which model, what is going to be applied, validate, recheck, and then train one more time. That will allow us to consume this within our applications. Nowadays, using, for example, Power Virtual Agents, you're able to build your own application within a very powerful solution that is almost built in. Don't forget, you still need to own a very good amount of data to bring this to the next level. So it's really shifting and changing the way we build apps and we create those add-ons. One other overview on the Microsoft AI portfolio, now adding a few more items that we are not only locked on the business space, but we can also go on the entertainment or maybe on the consumer with Microsoft being Windows and also Xbox. But this shows a very good overview of those layers and how you can leverage them. And if we look at actually how you can actually build an app, this is was generated by AI based on some of the knowledge we had and few things we have created. But I'm gonna use a pen here just to give you a walkthrough to how actually you can build your first add-on using Dynamics 365 as a product, the Power Platform, and Azure OpenAI Service. And basically, you have a standard product. That's going to be your initial user interface. Then you can start building ways for you to differentiate yourself or your add-on in specific fields or areas within that application. So you can actually create a contextual action. So I will only appear for the user when he wants to do that specific task. Then what we can create, we need a way to fine-tune the request for the user. So we create a form or a way to identify what is the user wanting within that add-on. We will transform all that user information and inject into the standard Microsoft OpenAI service. And that will make everything that will result from this injection specific based on the user input. And that is the beauty of it. Now I'm leveraging GPT 3.5, 4, and I heard that the GPT-5 is coming next year, but it has full input and characteristics based on what the customer or the user have requested. I will use the Azure and OpenAI services. We have actually ran over 100 different prompts to elaborate a perfect result or complete generation. So be aware that prompt engineering, it is a new job. It is a new role that is going to be joined and be available for hiring in companies soon. You have to know how to generate your prompts in order to get great results. I imagine that this will change over time, but it's really, really important that you spend time building a prompt and you have to really put the effort on it. After I have made my prompt based on the input of the user, the AI will generate the results. And that is just going to be spilling a tons of data and information based on your request. But then you can start filtering that, but what you really think is interesting. So I want actually to format this in a way that my solution will get that generated AIs. I will receive that data, and I can also use one more platform item, Power Automate, to modify, transform, and clean that result, which will allow me to use an existing API, creating a value and generating a completely result that was before unexpected for the user. So this is really amazing and mind-blowing if you think about creating an AI solution that is leveraging an existing well-established platform like Dynamics 365. Those are the steps. So what AI does for Power Platform, it really brings the next generation for AI for developers. We have now Copilot in Power Platform, generative AI templates, AI-assisted data migration, next-generation AI for users, AI-generated analytics helping you identify things on your day-to-day work, generative answers, and generative actions. All those are what AI is bringing to the Power Platform soon. So follow up for more, but it's really important that you are taking care. And again, take a look at the Power Platform. It is one of the most vast and rich platforms within the market today. So let's take a look at some cases, use cases and success stories and some products that we actually build using the concepts we saw before. So the first one, I would like to start with the Dynamics 365 URS. And this one is actually a well-established product. It's been used for the field service for many years. And URS stands for Universal Resource Scheduling. And it helps you to actually manage your resources. This product was built and it has some specific interfaces, but most important, it has a massive and really, really powerful scheduling engine, which will allow you to actually identify overbookings, identify roles and skills, identify which resource is the right resource for the right time, and how you can leverage something that is so good. And basically what we are able to do is actually we build a completely different interface. behind the scenes, we are leveraging a completely powerful, well-established product that runs on a Microsoft business application that is also powered by Power Platform, but at the same time, I can find a gap in the product that right now, some users would like to have an Excel look and feel or a grid view, and basically that's what we built on top of the existing product. We don't need to actually take care. And also, we don't need to do all the scheduling mechanisms because we are just leveraging the services that exist behind this specific service. And that is really good because if you follow the best practices, you're going to be completely supported by Microsoft warranty, and you still bring a completely different experience for your users. This is a great example. And when you build a product like that, it's not only available for your OS, it actually being consumed by project operations, by field service, by project for the web. Actually, any solution that is using Power Platform and the URS capabilities can actually leverage an application like that. So fully integrated with Microsoft Teams. And again, it's an add-on which follows the process-centric approach. It's not built for one customer, it's built for many, many customers. Another example, and actually that will be my last one before we open for questions, is something that we think is really amazing. We call it Fellowmind Synergy AI, and now we are leveraging AI capabilities within the power of a Dynamics 365 application. So we allow users to not only generate project plans, review business cases, generate risk suggestions, research demand, summarize lessons learned, without creating a completely infrastructure for all of that. We just use and leverage the platform that is available for us. We combine project operations capabilities with Azure OpenAI and all the security and governance we have behind that, and also the data that each one of those enterprises or organizations have to build and generate this information with the latest and greatest technologies available. And here's a quick peek of how it looks like. So imagine you're a user, you go to your business case, you fill out your business case, but you want to generate a completely new project plan. You can fine-tune based on specific metadata within your organization. I want to use my project state, and I want those tasks to be created using names as statements, or maybe speak as a Viking, as a joke, of course, but then all those parameters are sent to Azure OpenAI using the latest ChatGPT capabilities, and a completely project plan is generated for you. And trust me, I've been working on the project management field for many, many years, and those plans are impossible to be identified to say, oh, this is coming from an AI tool. Not at all. Really, really powerful, really, really good way for you to leverage add-ons on top of existing platforms and applications. And this is just showing how you can actually build those forms and applications and model how the user can interact even before you call a specific API. With that said, I would like to say thank you to everyone, and it's open for questions. And I hope I fit on the 45 minutes available.
Thank you so much, Allan. I mean, wow, so much information. It's some time to settle down. It was mind-blowing. I'm wondering for you, like, thank you. Very impressive.
I actually have one more thing to show, maybe. Most of the images on the presentation were generated by AI. So I actually tried to just take my picture and generate my picture with AI. On the left side is a real picture, and on the right side, I just asked it using one of the steps, and there we go. I think that's just a funny way to look at, but how the power of AI is actually building and helping us on our day-to-day work. And now, let's go. Okay.
I love it. Thank you for showing us that. So thanks for the awesome presentation. It was mind-blowing. We all can agree that the pace of AI development is crazy right now. You provide us with a lot of food for thought, and I really enjoyed. And it seems that the audience did too. Lots of questions coming up. We are not going to have a lot of time, but we're going to try to go for as many as possible. So first question, which of the advantages you reference for Power Platform you think that are the most important, and they make the really difference comparing to the other platforms and their competitors?
Yeah. Right now, I would say that most organizations are using Microsoft within their day-to-day work. So if you imagine that your email, it's most of the time using Microsoft Office 365. Other platforms, they also have similar capabilities. Therefore, Power Platform is part of the Microsoft ecosystem. And therefore, that allow you to take advantage of a lot of other things in a much seamless way. I'm not saying that the Power Platform is the best platform. I would say that there are other platforms like AWS that you can build several things, but Power Platform has a low code mindset and is built in on the culture of the organizations today. So that will be my take is I'm a Microsoft guy for many years, but at the same time, I'm trying to look for the enterprise grade I would say customers, and they are most of them, if maybe 90 to 95%, using Microsoft ecosystem, and Power Platform just belongs there.
Thank you. Another one, you spoke about the advantages of the product-centric approach, but there are any disadvantages?
Yeah, usually when you go on and yes, great question, by the way. The advantage of product-centric approach, yes, you can streamline processes, create things, but the disadvantage is sometimes you don't get something as tailor-made for you as you wish. There is a rule that rule I'm quite against that one rule fits all or one item, one feature fits all, and that does not work in real life. I actually have another session where we're going to be talking about that our processes, our traditional processes, have not changed from the beginning of many, many years. We get new technology every day new technology, but the way we are doing does not change. So my point, if you go on a product-centric approach, is you're going to get a little bit more standardized process. So you cannot really divert much from that. I think that's the advantage. Sometimes we like things that, just follows our DNA.
So personalization, customization can be a thing. It can be an issue.
More
challenging.
It's a completely different path. You can't do your own, I would say, personalization and customizations in a product if you are just building. You have to rely on a pipeline, on a roadmap, and also prioritization within that product. It has a different approach.
Okay, thank you. For the design of add-ons, any tips, techniques of how to identify product gaps and understand the platform?
Yeah, there are a lot of, I would say, great documentation. If you go learn.microsoft.com and if you just search for Power Platform, you're going to see tons of information. My tip on that one is, again, I think I highlighted some of them, really keep compatibility, because if Microsoft changed something and your add-on is not compatible or not following the latest updates, you're going to have a problem in terms of that compatibility. So one key point is ensuring that you are building things fully compatible with the roadmap of Microsoft, also with development and deprecation. So one example, if you create an app and it does a great thing using an API that's going to be deprecated next year, your app has 1 year of life only.
So you will have to keep the pace, the speed.
Yes. Luckily, platforms like Power Platform and Microsoft Dynamics 365, they announce a lot in advance once they need to change or deprecate a specific capability or API. So you don't need to follow day to day, but you need to follow maybe year to year. In the past, Microsoft always guaranteed 4 years in advance that your API will be working. So before they announce the deprecation, you always know your investment will be surviving for 4 years.
Okay, see, thank you. Another one, if I go with one add-on, which one you will select and why? If you have to select one, which one you think is the most important, the key one?
If you are using Dynamics 365 platform and you would like to actually get an add-on right now and use it, I will highly recommend you to use our Dynamics 365 URS Resource Management add-on. I don't know if the question is if I should try one. That one is our favorite. It's really powerful. It's really making the lives of our users different. But if you need to actually build an add-on by yourself, I would say I would start with Power Apps, and Power Apps is a great way and an easy way to actually build your first add-on.
Okay, I see. Thank you. Another one is a long one, so I post it in the chat, our chat too. How much confidence level we can expect if we want to develop a new product and release in the market by using only AI with complete SDLC process?
I will not say right now a lot of the AI capabilities, and I really need to push this question a little bit on the side, because a lot of the AI capabilities that we are using today are in preview mode. So I will not put one of these products in production once until they are on general availability. So if you're using one of these capabilities like AI or an OpenAI service, which are in preview mode, I will not make that in use of production. Okay.
Okay, I see. Thank you. Another one. Instead of building products for existing platforms, can the organization build our own platform? Can my organization build on our own platform?
Yeah, and that's a very fair question. Of course, they can build their own platform, but when you're talking again about the whole package you get when using an existing platform, like security, all the advances, all the integrations, seamless, usage across the entire ecosystem, building a completely new platform, it will take you a lot of time and money, I would say, and effort. So it is possible, but you also need to check if the existing ones does not do a good job for you, and I think they most do.
Okay. What is the process to deploy products add-ons to app source?
Yeah, again, if you go to learn.microsoft.com and you search for app source, there's a full documentation there teaching you what is the process. I can briefly tell you, you have to build an add-on, then you compile and you package that add-on. You must have support pages, you must have some links and description of the add-on, which is really good for the end users. And once that is pushed, Microsoft will do code checks for data breach, code checks for data quality and performance insurance, and then they will allow you to actually push that to app source. But learn.microsoft.com, search app source, you're going to see a lot of information there.
Okay, one more, last one probably, because we don't have much time left. If our team is focused on business intelligence and we would leave to build our own add-ons or products, can we do that for Power BI too?
Can you repeat the question?
If our team is focused on business intelligence,
yeah,
and we will leave to build, we want to build our own add-ons or products, can we do that for Power BI?
Yeah, that's a great question. And if you have a team that is focused on one specific of those products, like Power BI is also belonging to the app source. They have organizational applications and add-ons, but they also have app source apps. So you can create your own components and your own kind of data collection and reports and dashboards using Power BI. Great question. And yes, that's a great way to start, because you can actually do it without much effort and publishing to the app source.
Good to hear that. So thank you very much, Allan Rocha, for your insightful presentation and for dedicating your valuable time to us. We really appreciate it. And a big thank you again to the audience for being attentive and actively engaging with the questions. Now let's take again a short break for a couple of minutes before our next speaker, actually in 2 minutes, who plan to challenge the product mindset stereotype. Thank you again, Allan Rocha.
Thank you.
Allan,
Have a nice day. Thank you all.
it was nice
Bye-bye.
to meet you. Thank you.